first breakdown was at 16, and I was at college, and I was suffering. I was kind of lonely, and I didn't make many friends. I was getting more and more paranoid, and in the end I started walking around late at night and thinking that I was someone else, thinking that I was Jesus or something. My parents phoned the police because they were worried about me, and I ended up in a police cell, and ended up being sectioned and going to the Priory in London, and that was my first taste of mental illness. I think my parents thought that that was going to be it, that, you know, the medication was eventually going to solve it or something, or it was a cure or almost, and I probably thought the same, to be honest, because of the psychosis that I had, the breakdown that I had. They thought that I was going to have another breakdown almost straight after I'd been in the Priory and stuff. That's kind of tough. I think I had to come to terms with the fact that it wasn't going to be a short-term thing, it was going to be a long-term thing.
I think the thing that shocked me most was that Dan had been told he may never work, and I don't think that should ever happen. I don't think people should be given that outlook on life. They should be told, you might find it difficult, you might need to accept this as a challenge, but it's one worth taking.
I was just like sleeping all day, up all night, just got into a pattern of like, I suppose I was drinking as well to like pass the time. I fell out with my parents because they wanted me to go to work. They wanted me to earn some money, and ended up being kicked out and ended up in sheltered accommodation. What was going through my mind was basically that I'd be living on benefits for the rest of my life. Your life is just ripped from you, really, when you get told that.
I'd been a teacher in the past, and I was fairly convinced that anybody could do anything given a little bit of encouragement, and found that what Dan really needed was encouragement, that he could find something that he could do, even if it wasn't his main interest. And he tried a few things. He said to me in the first place, "What if I can't?" And I said, "What if you can?" And he went on and developed a skill that he didn't know he had. I could see a good brain going to waste, in a way, if Dan didn't get the encouragement that perhaps he needed, and the self-esteem. The whole thing is about self-esteem, I think.
When Dave approached me, I was like, can I do it, can't I do it? I was really fearing that I couldn't, but I think Dave's powers of persuasion like helped me to, oh, you can do it.
Communication. Dan needs to be able to say, I don't feel so good, or I'm getting a bit wound up. I'm very proud of what Dan's achieved for himself, and I think probably quietly he's even more proud of being able to get into a working situation and prove that he can do it. The most important thing for Dan is that he's got a ladder to climb out of the state he was in, to lead to whatever he wants to do.
Research in the US has indicated that 60% of people with mental health problems can work with the right support. The Vocational Advice Service can act as a bridge builder between employer and employee. Some people may require adjustments in the workplace, really simple ones such as altering working hours or removing certain tasks.
Social inclusion is not just about getting into work, it's about achieving what you want to achieve in life, in your community. It's about acceptance of being part of society. It's not being ashamed to say I have a mental health problem. It's about it's about breaking the stigma down and challenging the discrimination that goes on for people with mental health problems.